Hello, happy Venus in Aries. There's been a lot of cardinal action these days, so we're starting a new cycle in the Venus wheel, so this is exciting. I'm doing a reading for this Venus transit. It's a very short transit. It's literally 26 days, where sometimes Venus can transit due to retrograde for like 3 months. So from May 2nd to May 28th, Venus will be in Aries. These readings typically go with making a crystal grid and then having a all-encompassing energy, and then a what's seen, a what's hidden, and then I'm going to incorporate a crystal ally card into the reading because I really like crystals. And I'm start with a crystal grid. Sorry, that was loud, but shaman stone pyrite is pretty robust. Yeah, I'm going to make a crystal grid for our Venus transit. I just had to break down the Pisces one. So yeah, Venus, when in Aries, kind of brings like a fast and furious attitude, especially with how quickly she's burning through Aries. Likely to really just have a rush or urge to engage in like new and exciting, like adventurous relationships or experiences, doing so boldly and confidently and courageously. Venus in Aries also brings a desire to impulsively love and just kind of truly jolt headstrong into love, whatever that may be, in various forms of self-love or new relationships, current relationships. Definitely has a adventurous side to it and brings some fiery and fierce attitudes. Can appear competitive when going after what you want and desire. Aries is really centered around the self. It's the first house, so you could come off as selfish or competitive, but really with Aries, you're just focused on just being yourself and courageously yourself. There are two aspects that we'll have within, this is pretty within the season of Venus and Aries. The first aspect is Venus sextile Saturn, and that aspect usually is supporting longevity or providing opportunities for support. With the sextile, it's not as fluid as the trine. You have to really kind of add an extra effort, but it's not like a really work oriented such as a square. So just supporting longevity in relationships. And when I'm speaking of relationships, I'm talking about relationships with yourself, with money, particularly since Venus rules monetary things, with others, and just material goods in general, and crystals. Likely to be modest with Venus sextile Saturn, and not really want to have things focused on yourself. Like if someone were to give you like a compliment, you would kind of like disregard it in like a very modest way. But definitely a aspect for highlighting giving and receiving, and really has an emphasis on self-worth and self-value, with some like a discipline aspect. It allows you to really check in and note whether there's a good reciprocity in those facets of relationships with self, but also others, honoring yourself and your self-worth. So I'm not gonna really shuffle too much. I'm gonna get the all-encompassing energy. Yeah, so likely to just like boldly and courageously embrace others and new experiences, really going after being like somewhat the center of attention. Just have, with Venus and Aries, especially natives, you can have like a magnetic allure. Oof. All encompassing. I thought we were out of Ten of Swords. Okay. I don't mean to say oof but I mean it's the Ten of Swords. So. What's seen? Yeah, so since Venus is in Aries, Aries also has a co-ruler or a secondary ruler, Pluto, and Pluto definitely has a magnetic allure and just like an enticing persona when it comes to love, and Venus definitely embodies those themes more so in a fiery aspect than like a gravitational one. Seeing Two of Pentacles. Oh wait, Two of Wands. What's hidden? Could impulsively buy things. That's one thing with Aries too. Could have like an impulsive, I need to redecorate or purchase a new outfit. Five of Swords. And then we'll get the Crystalline deck or card at the end. We also have the Venus square Pluto aspect. This is fire and earth square too. So a lot of intensity can be brought up with this aspect. Intensity in relationships, or just like relationship tension. Things could surface that are just like really buried beneath you, such as like just things that align with self-worth and self-value. Some of those negative aspects of having low self-worth and self-value are just insecurity-based things, or just like having to deal with past traumas. So those shadow aspects could arise, and it's just a matter of just trying to, not let it control you or have power over you. Because if that does occur, then likely you'll exude those negative aspects of control and power in relationships. So positive side of this square, this difficult obstacle, or just a lot of tension, is relationship transmutation. and just being able to maybe even transform your self-worth into integrating more of those shadow aspects, or if it's in your relationships, transmuting so that there's a equal balance, there's a balance, power and control aspect. So also difficulties with money and power could arise. That's a theme, especially with Pluto. Hidden power or just unseen power because of monetary or resource-based things in Venus. And another aspect or another attribute of Venus and Pluto is just having sexual taboo, and so things like just weird things could arise, or just taboo within a collective could be surfaced and cause power dynamics to go haywire. So that's always a theme of Venus square Pluto. So we have all-encompassing is Ten of Swords. This is feeling depleted, defeated, and KO'd, especially in like a betrayal sense. I mean, this is definitely over-exaggerated and, in my opinion, foul play. But with this this card, or like some of the lesson learned cards, really have to just see the light on the horizon. There's a new day, despite there being a lot of darkness and feeling like you've been stabbed in the back. This is the end. We completed a cycle here, especially with the past Venus through the signs. Like, we just completed Venus wheel, and now we're on a new wheel. So this is there's a fresh start with this. What's done is done. There's no going back from having 10 swords in your back. What's seen is Two of Wands. Two of Wands is having the world in your hands. This is the person in the castle and has one of their wands in front and one of their wands behind them, or I think they're holding one of the wands, and then the other one's like established in the castle. This is looking out into the world, knowing that you have plenty of opportunities ahead of you. You're still a little stagnant and haven't made any moves, but you're definitely pondering where the world can take you. And I feel like with the world in your hands, there's like an imaginative property to that. This is having balance with creativity, with passions, and just spiritual flow and energies in general, and just being paused to decide where you want to allot that time and energy to. What's hidden is Five of Swords. Five of Swords is the bully. This is someone who there's also like a dynamic of like game over. This is someone who has taken swords from all the other people. Some people feel depleted and defeated. They're walking away from a battle or whatever was occurring. And then there's the one dude who looks like a bully. He's just kind of smirking, and he has the swords at his feet and 2 in his hand. So obviously a conflict that occurred or has occurred, and it's a matter of working through said conflict. Whether you're the bully who feels like, you know, I've won at all cost, or you're the other people who feel like there was no way to win anyway. As a course of action, this is a sign to maybe even just to walk away, continue walking away. Or know that, I feel like, yeah, I get the walking away aspect. Know that what's done is done, and sometimes there is no winning a battle. Especially when it comes to swords, a lot of that's just mental energy in general, and mental realms clash with one another. It's how those kinds of conflict is how things are built. So if everyone were to agree, or were not to mentally, you know, dispute something, then we wouldn't get anywhere. Everyone would just agree. So I'm going to draw the Crystal Ally card and see what the crystals have to say. And I got my other book out. Actually, I might not get to it because I'm trying to keep these short. But I hope everyone has a lovely Venus and Aries transit. Like I said, it's really short and sweet, but I think it's a good way to kickstart the Venus cycle, especially with what we have going on. I feel like to get that Venus square Pluto out of the way off the bat is like beneficial to the Venus wheel. Okay, I'm gonna take the top because there's like 3. Tiger's Eye. This is perfect. Tiger's Eye is very much a fiery stone. It actually really coincides with swords, like the double-edged sword. Here it's representing balance, which is, you know, that's also double-edged sword aspect. Yeah, so balancing feminine and male with Venus in the ruling or the sign ruled by Mars. This is very much a time to balance those energies, those polarities within ourselves and with others. We can embody this Venus energy and receive the Mars energy to find a balance within ourselves. And I get the impression of balancing for reciprocity with others. And I also get that with the aspects that are coming up. The Pluto and Venus aspect is very much about balancing within ourselves and with others, with relationships. You know, those insecurities or traumas could be diminished if you have the proper support, and support within yourself too. With relationships with money, I feel like that's definitely always needing balance. And yeah, so I'm not going to read out of there because I'm already at 20 minutes on this. So I hope everyone has a super fiery and balanced Venus in Aries transit. And yeah, thank you for tuning in, and I hope that it's just a great time for transmutation and new endeavors. I love the magenta, and oh, that's great. Okay. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great day, and Venus and Aries transit.